bet it's a bullet gonna get the last laugh.
Welcome back to the channel, everyone. This video today will be acting as a small little news update, keeping you guys informed on everything that's currently going on. Here was a big thing that popped off recently. You had a developer for Tekken 8 step down. This is Shimbroi. Now, on stream, we did some research to try to figure out, one, who this person is and how much of an effect they had on Tekken 8. And in our research, we found that this was a person who also worked on DOA. And when looking at the DOA portion of stuff that he's done, I seen that those players were blaming him for like the way that the game turned out. I don't know the full details there, and I don't know if that's the full take of what happened or if that's just like, you know, the wrong link we clicked on. But as it relates to Tekken 8, this guy was doing a lot of game stuff. For people who have a lot of knowledge in game development, if I say something that's wrong, you guys can correct me in the comment section. I'll try to pin your comment when I see it. But to my understanding, out game work means that this person deals with a lot of crossovers. So probably someone who played a big role in Clive, some of the collaborations that we got, customization pieces, and also like avatars. So from what I was able to piece together, this was not a guy who was in charge of balancing or season 2. He was more so operating on the DLC side, collaboration side. Now, I don't know if someone is replacing him or if this means that Tekken 8 is not really doing any more collaborations. We know a lot of these things, crossovers and whatnot, has gotten a lot of pushback in the past, and I don't know if this is happening because of it, and I don't know if he is stepping down or leaving because of it, because it's also not clear whether or not this person is being pushed out or they're willingly leaving. We know Bandai Namco and Japanese companies operate differently. They can't simply fire developers like, you know, EU and NA companies can. So when they want you to leave, they have to go about different means, and it will be very difficult to tell if it was on good or bad means. Now, what I do know is that Harada and Michael Murray did not respond to this tweet, but once again, I don't want to speculate too hard and, you know, make it seem like some, you know, salacious story. We were just looking at someone who is high up in the Tekken development team who is leaving. About time you're seeing this video, it will be Bro's last day. During my time here, I was involved in various projects, but I was particularly deeply engaged in Tekken 8, mainly with out-game elements, and was supported by many people, including our customers. I would like to take this opportunity to express a heartfelt gratitude. Thank you so much. And there's another tweet here where he says, I'll refrain from sharing details for now, but I'll be moving more freely and taking new challenges that make the most of my strengths. It will surely take time, but I will strive harder to deliver exciting game. So I'll be delighted if you continue to keep an eye on my progress. With that being said, talking about the next point. This is actually pretty big. This comes from Dextero and is talking about the Esports World Cup. The people who organized that event has announced Esports Nation Cup, a tournament where the players will represent their home country instead of their organization. It'll have over 15 games and 1,000 players competing to prove which country is the best. Hopefully Tekken 8 will be a part of this as well. We know Tekken 8 was a part of EWC, and when it was a part of EWC, it had bigger viewership, like a bigger audience than Street Fighter 6. All of the drama and controversy that was going on with Pakistan, with Arslan, with Knee, with Ulsan, with all of this stuff, that made a lot of people watch. To beat Street Fighter is crazy. So hopefully that is enough incentive to have Tekken 8 show up again at EWC next year, but then also Esports Nation Cup. If you think about it, the year 2026 is going to be madness. You're going to have 2 tournaments giving out $1 million, which is Esports World Cup and Esports Nation Cup. But then you're also going to have 4 Evos, and then also you're going to have all of the normal tournaments that we have for the Tekken World Tour. When 2026 get here, we're going to be locked into like infinite tournaments year round, and the madness will not stop. It's great because these pro players who's been competing for so long, they will finally start getting life-changing money, and they will finally start being rewarded for all the hard work they put in. Yes, it's going to be a little toxic. Yes, people are going to be angry. Yes, people are going to be cracking jokes, but at least people always do that. But at least now they get paid money for dealing with all of that. At least now they have life-changing possibilities. It's not just toxic Twitter or YouTube conversations, you know? But when you talk about all of the esports stuff going on, Pakistan is non-stop. They're locked in. Arslan says, we did Korea versus Pakistan. We did Saudi versus Pakistan. Now I'm wondering, is it time to do Japan versus Pakistan? Who would you guys want to see as battle? That'd be fire. I like how Pakistan is continuously figuring out ways to set up these tournaments and is keeping the conversation, the competition going. Once again, you talk about year-round action. Spaghetti Rip says Pakistan versus India. For those of you who know, there is a huge rivalry between Pakistan and India. If you think Pakistan versus Korea is toxic, if they set up a Pakistan versus India tournament, you will find the true definition of toxicity, because those two countries just have a very heated rivalry with one another. Reinhardt at EWC asked Arslan Ash, how do you strategize against opponents that has more experience than you? Arslan responded to this tweet and says, when I first learned of KOF, it was very hard for me. I kept losing, but that's how I understood basics of fighting game. Arslan Ash is also playing a lot of KOF right now. If you follow him on Twitter, you would see that he's loving the game. He's talking about how that game has so much defensive strategy, and he is basically, without saying it, he's kind of taking shots at Tekken 8 for restricting all of the defense and all of the legacy and all of the knowledge, and putting so much effort on the player to come up with all of these ways to defend when there's really not much, but also the opponent is taking no risk at all when attacking. But to continue with the tweet, he says, in Tekken 7 and even Tag 2, legacy players had a clear advantage because the game wasn't volatile. You had to really know Tekken to succeed. And this is what a lot of games used to be based around, right? The people who spend the most time learning and understanding, you have an advantage. But Tekken 8 feels different. Now anyone can win even without years of legacy knowledge. This kind of game design is good for newcomers, but maybe not so good for veterans. And this is the thing that Tekken 8 is trying to do, right? Decrease the skill gap, have all the people who are new do really well without really putting that much time in. I know everyone says that I'm a carried Yoshi main, but at least I've been trying to play Yoshi and understand Yoshi and learn Yoshi for like over a decade, right? So I've been trying to, hone my skills and my knowledge to progress. But now, Tekken 8, you don't really need to do that. You don't really need to put that much time and effort in. The game just gives you Fujin for minimum effort. And then as a result, you have people like me who are realistically supposed to be blue ranks. Now I'm up at Tekken God, because this is what happens when you inflate the ranks. Everyone is pushed up like 3 to 2 ranks from where they're normally supposed to be. This is how it was in Tekken 7. Blue ranks had some respect to it. That's where real Tekken began. But now in Tekken 8, real Tekken seems to be beginning like all the way up at Tekken Emperor. And even then, you can have a guy like the Moonsaw Slayer sneaking around the halls of Tekken God, catching people off guard with low unblockables and no punishment. Content creators who rely on drama for engagement contribute little to no value to the online space. I see many tweets like these now, and I kind of don't get too bothered by it anymore. Really, I see these tweets as just virtue signaling. Meanwhile, in the comment section, the most toxic conversations are going on, and you can see that people are just arguing over stuff with no real means of like finding a solution. It's just attacking for the sake of attacking. Tweets like these, in my opinion, are made for 4 reasons. 1, jealousy. This tweet came immediately after the main man reacted to my video, and I can see a lot of people probably being like, well, why isn't the main man reacting to my gameplay or my this or me? And then also, number 2, I think tweets like these is probably made out of egos. A lot of these guys have big egos. I don't know if Joker's like that. I think Joker's a really cool player, a really good person, but you never know like people unless you actually talk to them. And then 3, I think a lot of these tweets are made out of fear. Knowing that there's people out there who talks about stupid things that goes on, I could see how that could make Joker or like some of these other guys uncomfortable. Like, if he does something stupid, he'll be the thumbnail of the next video. But then the final thing is like there's a lot of hypocrisy with tweets like these. Usually when we talk about drama, we're reading tweets from Joker and many other people, right? So for those guys to say that content engagement channels suck when it's their tweets who are driving the discussion, it's like drama is good when they do it, but when other people do it, it's like terrible and you guys make me sick and this is bad for the community. But I did want to talk about this because a lot of people were tagging me, a lot of people were tagging Mike, and they're doing so in a way that just will try to bring us down and ruin our day, but that's not going to happen.